Did you know that 99% of deaths after 75 come down to just a handful of causes? Many people assume that passing away at an advanced age is simply natural. But the truth is, most fatalities stem from avoidable risks. Risks that are often ignored until it's too late. The problem is, by the time most people realize what's happening, their health has already deteriorated and their options become limited. But if you understand these dangers now, you can take steps to protect yourself and extend your life in ways you never thought possible. In this video, we're going to uncover the 5 leading causes of death after 75. The ones responsible for nearly all fatalities in this age group. Some of these might seem obvious, while others may surprise you. But one thing is certain: knowing them is the first step toward preventing them. These aren't just statistics. They represent real lives, real families, and real choices. That could mean the difference between struggling with health problems. They're living a long, fulfilling life. Stay tuned until the end, because these 5 causes are not inevitable. In fact, by making small but meaningful changes, many people have significantly reduced their risks, stayed independent longer, and added years, sometimes decades, to their lives. The decisions you make today could determine how strong, active, and independent you remain in the years ahead. Now, let's get started. Number 1, heart disease. Heart disease remains the leading cause of death for people over 75. And yet, many don't realize how much control they actually have over it. The heart is a muscle. And like any muscle, it either stays strong with the right care or weakens from years of neglect. The problem is, you don't always feel the warning signs until the damage is already done. Many people assume that slowing down, feeling tired, or getting out of breath easily is just part of aging. But in reality, these can be signs that your heart isn't as strong as it used to be. And that's something worth paying attention to. One of the biggest contributors to heart disease is high blood pressure. Over time, it puts an enormous strain on your arteries, forcing your heart to work harder than it should. The tricky part? You don't feel it. There's no pain, no obvious symptoms, nothing telling you to take action until a heart attack or stroke forces the issue. That's why so many people over 75 suddenly find themselves in the hospital, wondering how they got there when they felt fine just days before. Another major culprit is poor diet. Decades of processed foods, excess salt, and unhealthy fats slowly take a toll, clogging arteries and reducing circulation. And here's something most people don't realize. This isn't just about avoiding bad foods. It's also about eating the right ones. Your heart needs fuel to stay strong. And if your meals are lacking in heart-healthy nutrients, the damage happens much faster than you think. And then there's a lack of movement. The heart isn't meant to sit still all day. When you stop moving, your circulation slows down, your muscles weaken, and your heart doesn't get the exercise it needs to stay strong. You don't have to run marathons, but staying active in whatever way works for you, whether it's walking, stretching, or even simple chair exercises, keeps your heart pumping efficiently and reduces your risk of heart disease dramatically. The biggest mistake people make is assuming that heart disease is just fate. They hear about relatives who had heart attacks, or they assume it's just what happens with age. But the truth is, small, consistent choices add up. The food you eat, the way you move, the stress you manage, it all plays a role in whether your heart stays strong or begins to fail. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this: you have more power over your heart health than you think. The choices you make today can determine how strong your heart stays for the years ahead. And the best time to start protecting it is right now. Number 2, falls and injuries. One of the most dangerous and overlooked risks after 75 isn't a disease. It's a fall. It happens in an instant. One misstep, one moment of dizziness, one slippery floor, and suddenly everything changes. A fractured hip, a head injury, or even a seemingly minor bruise can quickly spiral into a serious, life-threatening event. And the real danger: most people don't realize how vulnerable they are until it's too late. Here's something shocking. Falls are one of the top causes of injury-related deaths in seniors. They account for millions of emergency room visits every year. And for many, a single fall leads to a decline that they never fully recover from. A hip fracture can mean months in bed, loss of independence, and increased risk of infections and complications. But despite how common this is, most people don't take fall prevention seriously until they, or someone they love, experiences one firsthand.
The problem is,
One of the biggest dangers is being unable to breathe. Breathing difficulties can start off as something minor: occasional shortness of breath, a lingering cough, or wheezing after simple activities. But as time goes on, these issues may signal the beginning of chronic respiratory diseases, such as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, bronchitis, pneumonia, or even lung cancer. The challenge is that many older adults dismiss these early warning signs. A little cough is brushed off as just a cold. Feeling winded after climbing stairs is often blamed on aging. But in reality, these can be signs that your lungs are struggling and need urgent attention. By the time it becomes obvious, the damage may already be advanced. Respiratory diseases are particularly dangerous for people over 75 because they weaken the immune system, making it harder to fight infections. Something as common as the flu or a chest cold can spiral into pneumonia, which for many seniors can be fatal. Even exposure to dust, smoke, or untreated allergies can trigger serious complications. But here's the encouraging truth. While aging lungs can't be made brand new, there are proven steps to protect and strengthen respiratory health at any age. Avoiding smoking or quitting even after decades dramatically lowers the risk of both COPD and lung cancer. Regular physical activity, even gentle walking or breathing exercises, helps improve lung capacity and keeps airways clear. Eating a diet rich in antioxidants, such as fruits and vegetables, supports lung tissue and immune defenses. And perhaps most importantly, getting routine checkups, vaccinations like the flu and pneumonia shots, and promptly treating respiratory infections can prevent small problems from turning into life-threatening ones. The mistake many people make is thinking that lung decline is inevitable after 75. But research shows that those who stay active, avoid pollutants, manage chronic conditions like asthma, and keep their environment clean can maintain healthy breathing for many more years. If you take away one lesson here, let it be this: never ignore your breath. Every breath you take is a gift, and protecting your lungs today could mean not only more years of life, but more years of independence, energy, and freedom. Because the truth is simple: life without breath is impossible. And by caring for your lungs now, you are giving yourself the best chance to keep living the long, fulfilling life you deserve.